Well, we are about a week and a half out from the start of LCS. I'm joined by League Commissioner Greeley, Christopher Greeley. You don't have a right handle, do you?
Riot Commish.
Okay, well, we'll just go with Chris Greeley. That's much better. Anyway, of course, this coverage brought to you by Alienware, proud sponsor of Travis Gafford Industries and LCS. But one of those. Anyway, so first off, you guys have a lot of different announcements.
Yep.
Going through them, Fan Pass and Team Pass are the first ones. Can you talk to me a little bit about what those look like for those that haven't seen the announcement?
Sure. So Team Pass, if you're an LCS or LEC fan, I don't know why you'd be an LEC fan, but if you're an LCS or an LEC fan, you can buy in-game a Team Pass for your favorite team. You get icons and emotes, and eventually a Braum Chroma for the LCS or LEC. You can complete missions by watching LCS or LEC games, and you can kind of level up your rewards. If you're watching from outside of NA or Europe, you get a fan pass, which you still do missions and you level up and get other kinds of rewards, icons, and things like that. But super cool integration in game, way for you to show your fandom, support your teams, and ultimately get cool stuff.
So is any of this similar to kind of what you guys used to do with the team icons?
Sort of. So the team icons. So for some worlds, I think you'd be able to get a normal icon, and then you'd be able to upgrade it to a golden icon. Right? It feels a little bit like that, except there's I think there's ward skins in there. Like there's a bunch of other cool creative elements that allow you to represent your team while you're playing solo queue.
And how did this come about? Was this something that was brought up with the owners, or they wanted something in game, or like what was the process in the creation of this product?
Yeah, I would love to take all the credit for this. We've got a super good creative team here who said we're fans of esports and want to find ways that we can let people express that in game. And they came to us one day and said, here's what we're working on. Is this something that's interesting to you and interesting to owners? And it was for both us and the LEC. So we're happy that they were able to push that forward.
Now, I'm sorry, did you disclose the revenue share model or the percentages on it?
I have no idea if we have disclosed.
You did. I'm getting a nod that you did from the person who would have written it.
Yeah, sure. So yes, we have. I believe it's half the revenue from the product is being shared back to the leagues, and then it goes into our usual revenue share scheme.
So how much of a revenue driver do you guys expect this to be for the teams? Do you think this will be significant? I mean, it's because I don't know. I'm sure you guys have some idea of what you expect the numbers to look like for this.
So I think for the way our rev share works at least in the LCS is that if you buy, for example, a TSM team pass, a portion will go directly to TSM, but a portion will go generally to all the teams in the LCS. So even if you are not a team that has a lot of folks buy your team pass, you should still see some lift for this. But I think how much money the teams see from this will depend on which team they're a part of and what kind of traction this gets with fans.
So if I'm a big FlyQuest fan and I hate Team Liquid,
Sure.
I'm going to buy this FlyQuest thing and Team Liquid still gets some of the money?
But a lot less than they would if you bought the Team Liquid fan pass or team pass.
All right, that's fine. Just maybe I don't want Team Liquid getting any of my money. The dirty team. Anyway, so it's cool that you rev shared around. I guess my question was also, do you anticipate this to be really tons of people buying this and this being a huge thing for teams? Because across different esports titles, a lot of publishers they've got a lot of similar things, or you buy something in the game and it goes to support the teams. I don't know if you guys have an idea of if this is going to be giant for the teams and they're going to be rolling in dough, or if this is just sort of supplemental. I don't know if you have any expectations around how successful this will be.
So I think there's a lot of hopes that this is something that's really resonant with fans, and it feels like, for the $7 or $8, I think you have to spend an RP to get it. It feels like a really good purchase and investment in time, and convinces you to play more League of Legends and watch more LCS. If it is successful, I think it'll be a good chunk of money for teams. I don't think it's going to make or break bottom lines. I hope. I hope we're doing enough revenue in other places, right, that this isn't the single driver. But I think it could be noticeable for teams.
Do you view this as sort of the very beginning of the team pass and fan pass thing? If it's successful, do you think later iterations of this will add more and more?
I hope so. If it's successful, like we have teams that are constantly working on cool content for fans that engages them and engages their team. So, I mean, if no one buys this, I'm sure they go back to the drawing board on things that are cool. But if it's wildly successful, I could see them really trying to expand this in the future and like give people a reason, for next season to want to buy and to kind of continue to innovate.
ProView is the name of the other one, right?
Yep. Yes. Yeah.
So actually, you can explain a little bit about ProView, and then I have a couple of questions about that as well.
Sure. ProView, super cool. So you can bring up to 4 streams at a time. They're the actual POV streams from stage, but it's not just the League of Legends client. You can actually see their whole desktop. So if they're playing in windowed mode, you can still see the edges of the desktop. It's kind of a cool feature, right? So you can bring up 1 to 4 streams. You can pick which stream you're getting audio from. If you want to watch the jungle pathing and a mid laner and the main stream, so you're getting the caster audio, you can bring all those up. It's got a great timeline on it, so you can look if you're want to jump back in a game. It's like, oh, where was that really cool kill? You can see it the same way you would in the Observer, and you're able to kind of go through and watch games. And I believe it works on VODs as well. And they have packages where you can just get the LCS or just get the LEC, or you can get multiple leagues at once, so you can watch caps on Friday morning and double lift on Saturday afternoon and still get those POVs.
And what's the cost on it?
So I think in North America it's $15 to buy the LCS at the beginning of the season. I think the price changes over time, and then it's like €19 or €19.99, I think, with the conversion rates.
Yeah. There was some discussion in the Reddit thread I saw where Europeans were like, why is it so much more expensive for us? Would you have any insight into that?
So I don't think the intention is for it to be more expensive in Europe. I think between the credit card fees and the conversion between US dollar and the euro, that it comes out roughly the same. I'm sure some Europeans are going to look at that and say, no, you're an idiot and don't know how money works. But I think the intention is not that the LEC is priced at a higher level. It's that with rate conversions that it comes out roughly the same.
I'm surprised that after MSI, the European players aren't like, well, it costs more because you get better quality content,
Well, I mean, that would be the memeiest answer humanly possible.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's what I expect from the community. Yeah. Anyway, so I did see some discussion about the cost. Some people felt like it was a lot for maybe not as much as they would like to see. Was there ever any discussion around merging these two products? Because it is interesting that you launch 2 different types of products at the same time. Like, why is there no world where buying a team pass allows me to watch the team POV, any kind of, or bundling these together in any kind of way?
Yeah, so the 2 products were developed completely independently, and we're kind of moving on separate tracks. I don't know if it's something that we're considering for the future, right? Something that's more integrated. Like, I mean, I could see a world where you buy the Team Liquid Team Pass, you get a discount to a jersey, and you get tickets to finals, and you get you can kind of build that out. But we're trying to make sure that these products can kind of stand on their own and that there's sufficient fan interest, and then we'll continue to iterate on them and take feedback and try to do something that feels good for the community.
Yeah. Rift Rivals also got announced end of June, I believe. Yep. Is that taking place here at the studio?
It is.
Okay. So it was here last year. I know that in the article it was listed that Europe, because they're doing Worlds, requested that they could prep for it, having it here. Was there ever any discussion in having it not at the LCS studio?
Yeah, we looked into a couple of possibilities, potentially doing it as a roadshow. Like, we run into a couple of things. So the team that just worked MSI, a lot of them were from NA. So you have those folks coming back there. A lot of them are working the college championship this weekend. We roll right into summer split on June 1st. So to ask them then to go from summer finals to MSI to planning start a summer split to planning a road show with 6 teams coming in from 2 different countries to then come back to summer split was a lot, personally for our team and for the team in Europe. So we didn't want to put that kind of strain on them. We looked into doing it locally in California, just not in the studio. We've brought so many events to this area generally that we couldn't find a venue that made sense for the time commitment and the cost and kind of the payoff for fans. So decided to keep it here in the studio, be able to do something that's like kind of appropriately scaled, but still hopefully give fans and our pro players a good experience.
I will wait for this helicopter. What was the 4th thing that you guys announced? Oh, Academy. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Coming back to the interview after a plane flew over us. The Academy League also saw some changes. Yep. So I think you guys are back to broadcasting it on Fridays, correct? What was the decision behind bringing that back?
So originally we gave, so this is kind of back to our summer 2018 model. So we had given one day to teams. We wanted to give them an opportunity to kind of enhance their own broadcast, promote their own sponsors, and develop caster talent. Going into spring of 2019, we gave them both days and said, let's double down. If you're going to make an investment, let's put you in a position where the investment feels like it's paying off. The big problem that we had, and that both on the Riot side and with teams, was discoverability. So we find that when we turn on the Riot Games Academy stream, 25, 30,000 people show up to watch the games. When you had team streams, it was hard for fans to understand that how to find the game and that it was even happening. We would host, but hosting doesn't send out subscription alerts and alert you that we're streaming. We spent a lot of time and resources trying to fix that, both through our stream theater and with Twitch. Ultimately, it was super hard to resolve. So we decided to take the broadcast back. We want to make sure that fans are getting to see these games, getting to follow players who could be in the LCS soon and can continue to develop those stories. But at the same time, we have teams that worked really hard to get some broadcast stuff in place, like Paul the Cloud, an amazing part of the Cloud9 Academy broadcast, right? You don't want to just kill Paul the Cloud. So we're leaving Thursday night broadcast, and in 2 super weeks, they'll also be doing Wednesday night broadcast to allow teams to still flex into some of that stuff. And we'll continue conversations with teams. There may come a day where we give both days back. There may come a day where we take both days from teams and they're not broadcasting anymore. But we'll continue to have the conversations with teams to make sure we're coming out kind of to the best spot for everybody.
I have 2 more questions that I'm sure might be hard for you to answer if you can at all, but hopefully not too big of an issue. The Echo Fox stuff, I know you guys have issued statements around that. Are there any updates yet? And I'm not sure if you guys have provided a timeline on that at all.
So our last announcement was a direction, the announcement that we had provided a direction to Echo Fox that they had 60 days to remove any shareholders who were in violation of our rules and standards from their cap table. We're continuing to we were talking to Echo Fox before that, talking to them during while we issued our decision, and continue to talk to them now. They're continuing to work through, and we're hopeful that they'll be able to find a resolution within our time period.
And then on the other side, the Clutch and Optic rumors. Sure, as Chopper was unable to provide me any comment on whether or not any of that is real at the last event, I'm sure you can't comment on that, but maybe fans will be wondering, is there a chance that a team I'm rooting for will suddenly have a color change, logo name change at all in the middle of the summer? Is that anything that would be a possibility if in a theoretical world there were team changes potentially happening behind the scenes?
So I'll put it out hypothetically like this. Yeah. If Andy Dinh sold TSM to the New York Yankees and they wanted to turn TSM into the New York Yankees, they would have to wait until spring of 2020 to do that. We don't do mid-year branding changes.
Okay. Oh, mid-year. So it's not even just mid-split. Like if somebody made a change, like let's say a deal had gone through between the Yankees deal had gone through during MSI, it still wouldn't have changed during the summer.
That's right.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, that's good to know. I'm sure a lot of fans will be interested to hear that if something does happen, then nothing will be heard of really until the beginning of next year. Anything that you want to say to any of the LCS fans that are excited for the start of the split?
We've got a great split coming up. Good matches both in the Academy League and the LCS for week 1. We're opening up with FlyQuest Cloud9, would have been our 3rd, 4th place match in spring, followed by TLTSM, our reunion of the finals. And then our featured match Sunday night, last game of the day, will be TL Academy versus TSM Academy, playing from stage at the LCS Arena. First regular season Academy match that we've played from the arena. We're super excited. You should tune in.
Thank you so much for the interview. And for everyone else, you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things esports right here on my YouTube channel. Thanks so much for watching that interview. You might have noticed recently, but there are a lot of really cool ways to support the teams and support Riot lately. They announced the team passes, the Pro View thing that you can get, all sorts of cool different stuff. You know what? Screw all of that, all right? You want to put more money into the fat cat pockets of Riot Games or the team owners or these players that are making tons of money? No, no, no. Hook it up with me, all right? Help me out. Make sure my sponsor's happy. Alienware.com/Travis, Dell.com/Travis, all right? You know what? I'll even do you one better. Exclusively for you, yes, only you watching this interview and everyone else who hears about it. Travis 10 off, Travis 10 off. That's promo code. You get 10% off. They got some great deals over there. Don't listen. I can't talk much more because they're listening in, but support the people who matter. Me.